Long Distance Short is back at it again with host Natasha, Director of Digital Marketing at Gift Baskets Overseas, here with guest Sempronia, an 8-year veteran of helping corporate customers plan holiday gift campaigns. Today, we'll learn about the do's and don'ts of corporate gift giving and how to ensure your gifts leave the right impression. Stay tuned to learn about gifting pitfalls you may not have thought of and learn tricks to level up your next corporate gift campaign.
Hi, Sempronia. It's so nice to have you here today.
Hi, Natasha. Thank you so much for inviting me.
So we are here today to talk about corporate gifts, not just any corporate gifts, but about those that can hurt relationships. But before we start, let's talk about this kitten in our slide deck. What are your thoughts about pets as gifts and as corporate gifts?
I think pets as gifts universally are a no, unless they, you specifically ask for it, and then it's a personal gift. When you give a corporate gift, you don't want to give anything that's an obligation, and pets are a lifelong commitment.
Yeah. So do not send. It's our first message. Never send a cat or a kitten as a corporate gift. Okay, so we are here today to talk about corporate gifts to avoid. And the first question is there such a thing at all? A gift that can hurt relationship, be it a productive cooperation inside the team, or maybe a relationship with a business partner? That's where our first-time customers sometimes start the conversation with gift specialists that help them. Are there any corporate gifts to avoid? What should we keep in mind when selecting gifts? What are things that can actually hurt relationships instead of improving them? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, it's exactly where customers start, and it's where the most innocuous things will trip you up. One of the first things that I always ask any customer or anybody who's sending a gift period is, do you know if there are allergies involved? The amount of time it takes to update your address book or something with "don't send this person nuts" is very, very small, but it's a huge return on your time investment, because just that small little detail and remembering, hey, this has no nuts or no gluten or whatever it is they're allergic to, that lets them know that you're paying attention. And if you don't do that, that lets them know you don't really care.
Yeah. So recommendation here would be to learn as much as possible about the recipient of the gift. What are several main criteria that someone sending a gift can check the gift selection against? I would say we should start with cultural background, maybe. Then you need to understand their relation to your company or to your team, and also their personal preferences and restrictions. Depending on their geographical location, religious beliefs, and current economic context, your recipients may perceive different themes as appropriate corporate gifts. Just as an example, I would like us to share a story of one client. The company of theirs is based in the United States, and they wanted to send an expensive brand of whiskey to their partners in India as a token of appreciation and respect. What happened to this gift, Sandy?
Well, funnily enough, if I remember the story you're talking about correctly, the corporate sales associate working with the company advised them that what they might actually want to do is send something slightly cheaper, because what they were sending was a gift that was a little bit too lavish and a little bit too inappropriate for the culture. Is this the story you're talking about?
Yeah, but also it was the recommendation was to exclude alcohol. Because some regions in India, they do not accept alcohol in such deliveries. So the suggestion was to send a gourmet and wellness-oriented gift instead. And post-purchase survey that we conducted indicated that substitution worked well for them. So again, understanding cultural background, the relations between the company, your company, and the recipient's company, and their personal preferences and maybe some restrictions. It always helps. Speaking of possible issues where the corporate gift campaign, think about these things. Another question that often comes to mind when someone considers the gift given as a part of their sales or marketing initiatives is gift given ethical or unethical as a whole? What if you choose to look deeper into the topic of gift giving to understand which corporate gifts to avoid? Are they ethical? I wanted to share this quote from the material of the Institute of Business Ethics, and they say that the acceptance of gifts, services, and hospitality can leave an organization vulnerable to accusations of unfairness, partially or deceit, or even unlawful conduct. Commercial relationships may be subject to bias, and an organization's reputation for doing the business ethically will be put at risk. What are your thoughts about that?
My thoughts on this are a bit complicated. In my personal life, I'm a big gift giver, and I give things, freely and without expectation. And I think that's the importance between an ethical and an unethical gift. If your company is giving these freely and without expectation, they are simply a thank you for your time, for your effort, for consideration, then you're on the ethical side of gifting. If you're giving these gifts with an expectation or a demand that something be met after it, if it's something you're going to hold over their head, then you fall on the unethical side of it. In my opinion, there are tons more debates about this. At the end of the day, I think it's a personal choice and a company choice. But giving gifts freely makes them better gifts, and it increases your reputation in a positive way. Giving gifts with expectations does not do that. So definitely err on the side of caution.
Yeah, so here they list 2 points for consideration when assessing the ethic behind corporate gift giving. First, you need to understand what's appropriate in the current context. You can use this framework that we outlined in the previous section to assess the appropriateness of the gift. And secondly, according to the IBE recommendation, you need to understand if the gift can make an impression of bribery. The simplest way to do this is to ask yourself whether the gift's only intent is to influence the attitude of a decision maker. Many companies have distinct policies regarding gift giving and receiving that can help ensure you don't overstep in generosity. We encounter the situation with a corporate gift recipient who refused to accept the gift because of the policies of their company. In such a case, it's wise to have an alternative option for those unable to receive a gift. For example, you can offer them an opportunity to donate the amount equal to a gift budget to charity, and this can totally resolve the issue. And that's something that Gift Baskets Overseas can help with, correct?
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, one of our more popular and newer services, the address request form, will even let your recipient communicate to us any foreseeable issues. Will their office not accept it, so it needs to be sent to a home address, for instance, and also let us know about some of the allergy concerns you may not have had time to collect.
So the next question, once we decide on the appropriateness of the gift in the current context, is, are corporate gifts effective at all? And it's a huge consideration that potential corporate givers have regarding their first gift campaign. While loyalty and better perception are relatively hard to measure, it is possible. So in the survey that Forbes conducted in 2021, 80% of respondents said that gifts have improved relationships with employees and clients. And a whopping 48% admitted that gifting delivered a substantial benefit. Gift Baskets Overseas team regularly reaches out to the returning customers to learn how effective their campaigns are. I know that you are often talking to customers, corporate customers as well. Are there any things that they share that stood out to you in terms of effectiveness of the gifts?
I think one of the most telling things that I've been told, especially, given the recent shift into distance working, is how connected it makes the team. Employee appreciation gifts, especially employee appreciation gifts given on non-birthday occasions for hitting milestones, for completing projects, really saw a lot of, especially my small to medium business owners who I've spoken with. They've seen a really big increase in just sort of cooperative working, employees, volunteering to go outside of their normal jobs and expand into new things. So showing that appreciation by gifts or by other acts of thank yous aside from words has shown better cooperation, has improved team morale, and has improved sort of inter-team cooperation, which I think is kind of an untold measurement as to what that does for their business. As far as sending gifts to potential leads, to new clients, to clients that are maybe a little bit upset with your company, the data's been there for years. That's always going to be a huge improvement. There's that old saying, you have to spend money to get money, and one of the best ways to spend your money is by sending gifts and showing your appreciation inside and outside of your company.
Yeah. So now that we have decided upon the effectiveness of the gift, the appropriateness of the gift, let's talk about what should you not give as a corporate gift. If you are watching us, not just listening, here is the image of the baby gift, which you probably won't do as a corporate gift. So when talking about corporate gifts to avoid, there are several general recommendations you need to keep in mind. First of all, we recommend that you avoid gifts that are too personal. Avoid cosmetics and fragrances, especially if you are not 100% sure of your recipient's preferences. Then it's better to refrain from humorous gifts in a business context. No matter how brilliant a joke, there are significant chances of misunderstanding. Too dull can also be an issue. For example, if you give your employees a coffee mug every year, that's a high. They will not be happy with another one. And finally, don't over or underfund it. So if I need to wrap up this, it's better to exclude gifts that are too personal, overpriced, too cheap, excessively funny. Am I missing anything?
I think there's one more chance to plug in: pets. Please don't send pets.
Just don't do it. Well, let's get back to the cultural background of the recipient. Another question that apparently is quite often something that concerns our customers is what culture does not accept gifts? And the research shows that gift giving is quite universal. It's a universal tradition that is normal in this or that form for all cultures around the world. However, there are local differences among cultures regarding how exactly to accept, or in which cases to reject gifts. For example, it's being said that it's typical for many Eastern Asian countries for their people to refuse business gifts up to 3 times before accepting them. You can approach cultural differences in corporate gift giving in a way that is pretty much the same as what you do in your personal relationship. Conduct a small research about the traditions, then go with the safest option possible. Sempronia, do you have any comments here, or maybe a story from your corporate gift assistant times?
So my tenure helping with the corporate gift assistants at Gift Baskets Overseas has taught me one thing. The HR department is your friend. If you are sending gifts, especially outside of your own company to another company, say somebody that you partner with, reach out to their HR department and they'll be more than happy to tell you everything you need to know about not only what gifts are sort of appropriate and expected, but also what will be allowed by their gifting policy. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 special. But in general, food is safest. Food reigns supreme, especially food with variety that you can share. Everybody loves to try new things, even if they don't necessarily like the new things, especially when it's not on their dime. So when in doubt, snack variety packs. It'll get them every time.
So now let's talk about what is an appropriate business gift. Another point here to add is many cultures have better restrictions. So again, cultural background research is something that will help you a lot. We're reaching out to people who are aware of the traditions and customs in the country where you are sending a gift. So what kind of gifts are the most business appropriate? We already talked about gourmet gifts. What else can we talk about here?
Anything that is office accessories, planners, notebooks, especially if you can get something personalized. A lot of businesses would think here, oh, great, let me put my logo on it. But I challenge you to make it personalized for your recipient. Instead of making it your logo, try putting their name, maybe a special, anniversary date for when they signed a deal with you, or even their own company name. That's a way to let them know that you're thinking about them and it's them you're trying to spoil. That's going to make them remember you a lot more than a pen with your company's logo on it.
Yeah. Another type of a corporate gift that I would love to focus on is something for the team to share, especially when you are sending something not to an individual, but to a team that helped you with something, or part of your team that works remotely somewhere away from you. Having some kind of a maybe healthy selection of shareable products for a team to enjoy together, or for a group of people to enjoy together, it has so much meaning to it. Not just something savory or even healthy, but as a team building exercise,
Yes, completely agree. I would say a small warning for shareable products, especially in the day and age that we're in. Individually wrapped or well-preserved products are going to do a lot better than things like fresh fruit. There's still a lot of nervousness about sharing those things in the office. So look for prepackaged snacks or individually wrapped things to make sure that everybody feels comfortable with sharing.
Yeah, that's a good advice. Absolutely. So, to wrap up, if you really want to step up what gifts can do for you and your business relationships, taking about them standard practice. When onboarding a new employee or entering into a new partnership with another business, ask them about their preferred kinds of gifts and gifting occasions maybe. This sets you apart as someone who cares about them as an individual and what they can do for your company. Now that you know much more about corporate gifts to avoid, what are some next steps that we recommend? Can you please wrap up for us, Pronya?
Oh, absolutely. The first step you're going to want to do is go to our blog. Our Gift Baskets Overseas blog is just full of information, not only for corporate gifting, but also for seasonal things, for regional gifting things. It's a wealth of knowledge that you can read at any time. If you are ready to buy, then of course our corporate gift selection is available to you 24/7. We have a very handy tool there, our corporate gift wizard, that will let you narrow things down based on the countries that you want to send to, as well as sort of the budget that you're looking at for gifts. So you're focusing only on the gifts that are relevant to you and not being overwhelmed by too many options. And, if you don't want to be the one to look for it yourself, we have your back. You can always request a consultation with one of our corporate gift experts. They will walk you through the entire process, including even selecting gifts for you or letting you know which of our many tools, such as the address request form or e-gift options, would be best for your team and your campaign.
Yes, thank you. The contact will be on the final slide. And for those listening, we will have all the contact information in the description of this episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been another episode of Long Distance Short, your podcast for tips, tricks, and real-life stories of how to make the most of any long-distance relationship. If you want to learn more about a corporate gift campaign with giftbasketsoverseas.com, you can email the team at corporate@giftbasketsoverseas.com. Call toll-free for the US and Canada at 1-888-673-2822, or request a call by going directly to the website www.giftbasketsoverseas.com.